G'day everyone, and welcome back to Derriere Farms with me, Farmer Jay. Today's going to be a little bit of a talking head piece, and mainly because I don't want to get involved in the rumor mill too much. If you've clicked on this video, unfortunately, the title gives it away as to what the rumor mill is, and that is that This Will Drive You Crazy part of the first year season plus is going to be a release of Kubota tractors and or equipment, and or both. If that's the case, so be it, and if the rumor mill turns out to be wrong, so be it. I would have no problems with Kubota because it's a fairly decent company in terms of utility tractors. I see them used on small hobby farms around here. There are a few farmers that have them. The municipality uses them for maintaining their green spaces and parks. And then there are, landscaping companies that use them and golf courses that use their mowers and small tractors for maintenance and mowing of properties. I just thought I'd throw that in there in case, heaven forbid, nobody knew what Kubota does. And I would much rather have Kubota tractors than what we got for the last DLC, if you bothered to buy it. Which was the Antonio Carrero pack. Those tractors didn't even come with any equipment or front-end loader abilities. They are pretty much what you see is what you get. Like you said, at least Kubota have their own equipment that goes with their tractors. They have front-end loaders. And I found out that they also own Kverlin and Great Plains. Great Plains is actually a pretty good, is a pretty good equipment manufacturer in North America. So, like I said, not a big deal if it's Kubota, but my point for this video is about the future of Farming Simulator, if indeed this is Kubota being introduced to the game. By that I mean what it means for future DLC content in terms of Farming Simulator goes, and future releases of the game. Now, I know there are people that are going to jump all over me and say, but Jay, the game isn't even 6 months old yet, and you're wondering about the future. Well, I'm not wondering, I'm curious, and like I said, this is an opinion piece, so I could be totally off base. But Kubota, and the reason I'm talking about this is, as I said, Kubota is pretty much the last major tractor manufacturer out there. Now, bear with me. And as I said, this is where I got thinking when I was out with the kids. And I kind of confirmed it after I dropped them off to their mom's house. When I got home, I went through my Steam library and my disk library, and I had a look at previous versions of Farming Simulator. And with the exception of Farming Simulator 22, all previous versions have introduced a major brand as their drawing point for the game. Class was actually introduced well before it was introduced as a platinum edition for the game. I remember when I first started playing, it was pretty much Deutzfahr and Fendt were the only two in the game, and then Class came along, and then they introduced Case, The following game, they introduced New Holland, and they had New Holland themed DLC, and so on and so on. You know, John Deere. Then, the middle of Farming Simulator 19, Platinum Edition, they reintroduced Case in a big way, much bigger than it had been before. Then came Farming Simulator 22, which was actually probably the first release I could find in my Steam library that wasn't focused around a specific brand name. Yes, there were a few new brands introduced, and that was announced pre-game. For North American players, the most probably common brand that they introduced that you're going to be aware of is Versatile. Most of the other brands are European. The major draw of Farming Simulator 22 was the introduction of seasonal cycles and the introduction of production chains, as well as grapes and olives and a new crop. And that kind of takes me to the point I'm trying to make. Crops. Are they going to be the main focus of future DLC? I'm not talking about Pack 3, which is a plethora of new, get things done more efficiently is what it's called. So that could be almost anything. It could be better equipment for dealing with potatoes or sugarcane, or just bigger equipment to be able to deal with your fields faster. Who knows? I'm just speculating, and that's not the point. The point is the Platinum Edition, which is essentially going to be Pack 4 of the Season's Pass. Giants have always released a Platinum Edition and for the most part, it's always focused on a new map with a new crop or crop types. The exception being Farming Simulator 19, where the Platinum Edition, like I said, was the reintroduction of class to the game. They did have a map release, which was the Alpine DLC. Didn't introduce, as far as I remember, nope. It was basically a grassland map, and it didn't introduce any new crop types. Prior to that, we've had sugarcane introduced as part of the Platinum Edition DLC, along with the Case sugarcane harvester. We also introduced with sugarcane was Star tractors. Actually, we don't really have any Star except for modded ones in Farming Simulator 22. So that might be one more potential pack they're going to introduce to the game at some point. I think most people, though, would be pretty upset because they've had Star in the game before, and typically Giants don't make you repurchase DLC that you've purchased in previous games, which is one of the things I really admire about Giants. But anyway, back to the topic at hand, which is, like I said, what is going to be the pull for the focus of the fourth DLC, which is a new map, obviously, to get people interested, since there's not going to be a specific brand left if Kubota gets introduced to pull people in. It will be a map focused on crops. And it could be any number of crops. There's still quite a variety out there. And production chains to go with it. Taking that a little step further, what is going to be the main pull of Farming Simulator? Well, let's theoretically call it 2024. It might be 2025. Who knows? But again, my thoughts are it's going to have to be, unless they come up with something equal as exciting, as production chains and seasons, that's gonna be the focus is gonna be new crops and new production chains to go with it. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but I'm kind of going out on a limb and guessing. Like I said, I went through the list of prior releases of Farming Simulator right back to the earliest one I could find on Steam, and I think I had a disc version prior to that, but it was 2011. And yes, it's still in my Steam library. I am not trying in any way to predict the future. I'm just curious. And like I said, this is an opinion piece. And it is my opinion that with all of the major tractor brands introduced into the game, Giants has started with 2022, and I think they're going to have to continue to pivot away from having major brands like John Deere was the major brand they introduced, and for a lot of people that made them buy that particular edition of Farming Simulator. Same with Claas and New Holland. The graphics engine is being upgraded and it looks pretty good. Giants have pretty much said that they have no plans to switch to a different graphics engine. They're going to continue to work on their existing one. So don't expect to see that as a major pull, like like Train Simulator did when they switched to Train Sim World, which is now on the Unreal Engine from their own proprietary engine. And on a side note, let's pray that Giants doesn't ever even think about going that route, because Dovetail Games, when they switched to the Unreal Engine, took away all the editing tools from the community. So mods are no more. Anyway, back to crops. I know the community is asking for quite a lot of new crops to be introduced. Everything from carrots and peas to peanuts and almonds and just crops like that. There's still quite a few crops out there that Giants can introduce and would work quite well with the production chains. So my point is, I think that is going to be the focus from now on. Is we're going to see more production chain and more crops being introduced, as long as equipment to take care of those crops. Most of the equipment I looked up in terms of, let's take almonds as an example. The equipment that shakes the trees and so on. I'd never really seen or heard of the brand name until I watched Millennial Farmer when he took his trip to an almond plantation in California. Same with carrots. I don't know who makes carrot harvesters, but they could be quite interesting. But again, the point is that crop and the equipment would now become the focus of the game to draw people in, as opposed to brand names. That's just my 2 cents, and something I was thinking about when I was thinking about Kubota. Like I said, it will, if it is true, it will be the last of the big brands to be introduced into the game. And that just got me thinking, like I said, about what the future pull is going to be. Thanks for watching. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. Take care, Jay.